education. Robert Dillige, author of The Untouchables of India, writes that Ambedkar was one of the few politicians of India who had acquired their education from America. It is possible that his time abroad had a deep impact on his life and career, and he did not consider any other political system other than parliamentary democracy for the new India. His rare personality, different from the famous leaders of the colonies of that time, proves that he did not consider Marxism and communism as suitable solution for his country. He lived the life of a Western and was not influenced by Indian standard nor adopted this tradition. For many, he remained a model of modernity and thought about the welfare of civilization. One can see many traits of Gandhi in him as a fundamentalist and at the same time as a propagator of tradition. The way out of poverty, the way to respond to social exclusion is through books in childhood, and then one falls in love with this part so much that the thirst for knowledge increases. One gets addicted to reading, and this addiction is such that one cannot find peace without it. Ambedkar also get addicted to something similar unknowledgeably. After coming out of this addiction, a bitter truth is that you acquire the mindset of an ordinary human being, and in this state, you only get restlessness because you were the same person who used to do such workers in front of whom the world bowed its head. After the death of his father, Ambedkar worked hard to earn a living. His thirst for knowledge was high and he wanted to acquire education. In June 1930, the Maharaja of Baroda announced that he wanted to send a few promising children to Columbia University for higher education, the cost of which would be borne by his estate. On hearing this, Ambedkar reached the Maharaja residence in Mumbai and requested him to include him as a candidate for the fellowship. The Maharaja praised Ambedkar's knowledge and asked him to apply for this scholarship, which was approved. On 4 June 1930, Ambedkar agreed to an agreement that he would focus his entire time in America on studies, and after completing his studies from Columbia University, he would serve the state for 10 years. In fact, the 3-year plan of Sayaji Rao Gaikwad III of Baroda was made to acquire education at Columbia University in New York City. Ambedkar was very lucky to get this scholarship. He was the first person from the Mahar caste who went abroad to acquire higher education. Ambedkar did not accept it as an opportunity only for the Mahar caste, but also accepted it as an opportunity for the whole country. On his study in America, Dhananjay Keer writes that for an Indian, this was a very important program, and yes, it was an epoch-making program. An untouchable, a lowly Mahar was going abroad to acquire the best, behind which was the lofty building of the giants. Ambedkar was the first person among the first-class Indian kings who acquired education on the land of Abraham Lincoln and Booker and Washington. Yes, socialist leader Jayaprakash Narayan is another person who went to South America to study in the early decades of the 19th century. Ambedkar arrived in New York on 12 June 1930. He took books on Buddhism with him to read during his trip. For a week, he stayed in a dormitory hotel of Columbia University, but he did not like the food there because it was not cooked properly and most of the food includes beef. So he moved to the Cosmopolitan Club at 554 West Street number 114, where some Indian students were staying earlier. Soon after, he moved to Livingstone Hall with a Farsi student Naval Bhatina, and he became friends with his student for life. One of the students, C.S. Deval, was his best friend with whom he used to have long discussions. Ambedkar liked life here because his life here was very exclusive. There believed a new type of existence started. He found a new alternative to life. About Ambedkar's exposure to this new world, M.L. Sahari writes that this brought a new turn in Bhimrao's life, which he could not even think of in his dreams, because that country provided him the opportunity and experience to the basic principle of providing equal opportunities to every person. It is a matter of great knowledge that North America, which was once a British colony in the late 18th century, fought a historical struggle for independence under the leadership of great men like George Washington. The result was that the struggle to end slavery of the Negro in America was the result of Abraham Lincoln's farsightedness, which is an important event in the history of the world. Thus, America emerged as a powerful and truly lively democracy, and today the Statue of Liberty situated on New York Harbor is a symbol of freedom, equality, and fraternity, for which the new nation is known. If George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and great Negro leader Booker T. Washington